Yeah.
You're on?
Yeah.
What's today's date?
9/12.
September 12th, 1992.
How do I get...
We're at Park County Library, Bailey, top of Crow Hill. Hi, Val.
Now the date is...
Nice.
I love your necklace. It's what I need.
We're gonna...
I need style.
Thanks, Roger.
How come there's no sidewalk up to it? So people can live.
We don't want people getting too close and fall.
No, you're funny. Can I walk up there anyway?
We're about to dedicate the sculpture here at the library. Okay? Cut.
How you doing?
Vince, I know this isn't the time or the place. In another...
I know, the Mets. Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll go to the first home.
I don't want to go to New York.
No, but we'll go to the first if you want to. When our first home series, one game.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, are we dedicating inside? Is that what's happening? Oh.
Here I do. Look at how he intertwined the pages.
Words and phrases. Three on the sculpture faces that were donated to the project by all of you. Some of you, and some of you that aren't here, sent in various words and phrases that were put on the sculpture. The bottom of the sculpture is stoneware tile. It's high-fired stoneware. A lot of words were impressed in the play, where we used glaze techniques where the words were literally in the glaze, using a rubber stamp and different kinds of glazes. And at the middle part is patinaed brass that's welded together, and most of those words and phrases were punched in with a hand punch. Each letter, I'd take the punch and I'd go 3 times with a 4-pound hammer on each letter, and so there's a lot of pounding on those letters. And then the next part above that is routed stainless steel, and the phrases were routed in there by an engraving firm in Denver. That's the only place that can route stainless steel. And then those were welded together. Gas welding of stainless steel is very tricky, so it was a good learning experience for me, and I tried to grind the welds as best I could so they should not rust. It should stay just the way you see it. We collected the words. The process of getting the words and phrases started last March, and it was a 3-month period where we collected all the words and phrases, and I want to thank everyone that participated in that. Prior to March of last year, almost a year ago, we started this project. Actually, I've been talking to Mary for 2 or 3 years about doing something for the library as a sculpture, and when the Co-Visions program of the State Arts Council came into being, that's when we started thinking about writing a grant for that. And so last December we wrote the grant, and thankfully the Friends of the Library had the foresight and the trust in me to sponsor the grant, and so we wrote the grant, and we were lucky to get it. Actually, we weren't real lucky, because I was told later that out of the 100 grant proposals, we were number 2 in the point spread. So we did pretty well with that. After we got the grant, I think the Friends of the Library went through a great deal of work planning and doing all this beautiful xeriscaping that's out here, and another stainless steel plaque is being routed that says the landscaping was donated by the Friends of the Library, and a date, and that will be on the other side of the sculpture. There's two holes still in the stoneware that you might have noticed, and that's where that plaque will be, on the other side. Luckily, it's about words and phrases, so that the plaque will fit in just nice in the sculpture. We have to say that the Co-Visions program is a program funded by the Colorado State Arts Council, which is an agency funded by the Colorado legislature. And those words and phrases I just said are in my contract with the state, so they had to be said. The other thing that happened in this project is, in the collection of the words and phrases, we also were able to form the Cultural Council of Park County, because we found a lot of good, interested people in culture through this program, and as a result of that, we have some poets who will be reading before 5 o'clock during the course of the rest of the day. We'll have Carolyn Stronkel read some poetry, Richard Paul will be reading some poetry, Ellen Van Lorry will be reading, and Lori Morrison will be reading some poetry. And that part of the dedication program is going to be programmed by your cultural council. So it's already beginning to take shape, and the cultural council is starting to do some great things. So I'd like to formally give this sculpture to the Friends of the Library. And Ronald Gruber is the president of the Friends of the Library, and you can give it to Mary.
Don't pick it up.
Don't pick it up.
I'm happy to accept the sculpture for the friends. I'd like to present to Mary the sculpture and the zero statement that you like.
On behalf of the library staff and the library patrons and the community, I think it's just wonderful. Thank the friends and thank you, Vince.
Well done. All right, let's have. Now we're going to go in. That's great. Now we're going to go in and have some cake that was provided by the Crow's Foot. And it's a beautiful cake. Let's go have some cake. Knowledge is coming out of these books.
Conjure. Start a local myth that if you sleep with your head on the sculpture, your IQ will raise.
You'll osmose total knowledge. That'll be good.
Become a sage.
I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead.
Well, that's beautiful. Too good.
Yeah, nice.
Well, that's a good idea. Well, but we come up. We don't even know some of our own. Who am I? Friends library we know, but yeah.
Just take the truck over there to where that sign is.
Oh.
Carolyn, do you want?
I'm coming. I'm just coming in a minute.
Hot coffee. Híjole.
Richard Paul, you want to read something for us?
The other thing I always want to do is have a book in the library. And Mary and Willan, of course, this is such a neat place to come. I don't know about the rest of you. I spend a lot of time in the library because of these two people who make it a very special place to be. And I think they ought to get around. I have to tell you, this book is called My Valley, My Love, and Other Random Thoughts, and the author is Richard Hall, which is the one they used out there, the last 3 lines of, actually comes from a poem called A Gentle Pool, and I won't read it to you, it's in the book, but I'd have to tell you that this is Sylvan Lake, up in north of Eagle, as you go out of Eagle along the road, and there was a rock. In fact, Burden's by the stream, the rock in that one was there. Most of what I've done is just what it is. There are about 4 poems in here that have a dual meaning or something subtle. The rest of it is just what it is. But I want to tell you the Gentle Pool is particularly significant to me. That's where I proposed to Gracie. I took her out and we got a sandwich in Eagle and we drove up, had a bottle of wine, and I did the whole 9 yards on the knee and all this kind of stuff. And it was on a Gentle Pool. It's autumn, and so I'll read you this one. I have about 3 or 4 favorites. This one, one in there called How Will I Know When I'm Grown. You have to remember that I was in the school business, and a lot of what I wrote are reactions to things that I saw kids do. And my kids said, well, how am I going to know when I've grown? And so I dealt with that in that respect. Anyway, this says, autumn is no time to be alone. I turned my back on intent on things that steal my life. And while I did, the moon slipped into autumn gold without a sound. The hint was but a scent that came at dusk and was ignored by those who could not pause. I felt betrayed and almost missed the promise given us that time goes on. This splash of brilliance comes before vast desolation settles bleakly on the land. But while it's there, man is nearer to his God. This is a time best shared. One should never stroll through leaves alone. It was not meant to overwhelm a single soul, but is too much for one. It should be shared by touch and smile, with gentle walks and fireplace, with all the breathless quiet. Autumn is no time to be alone. That's what I have.
That's nice.
So thank you very much. For an old Air Force pilot, who dealt a lot in the macho stuff, this probably means as much to me as anything. I really thank you very much.
Yes. I'm representing the Board of County Commissioners today, and I would like to tell you how proud the board is in Park County for the beginnings of the cultural society getting going, and for the wonderful sculpture that's out here. We just are so excited because I truly, and the other members of the board, feel that this is an enhancement for Park County that's doable. It's just not a theory, and I can just see the explosion in the next 5-10 years with your creativity of folks like you. And we are so proud of this library and the enhancement that you have brought to it. So thank you very much.
Thanks,
Is Ellen Van Ory here? No? She was our fourth poet, so if you hang around long enough, she may come by to read. Thanks a lot. Have some more cake.
Want me to read this one? Okay. Dream time. We are a dream, woven by an intermittent stream of seasoned time, our thoughts, yours and mine.
Thanks, Carol.
Sometimes we confuse the dream for the intermittent stream, think things done in time create the images in our mind. Time has shown me time after time, reality begins in the mind, where we and Creator are one, it seems, traveling this universe, the eternal dream.
This piece is for Amax Cole.